My friends, how are you? We're here today with Jillian Batchelor.
Hi, guys.
She is running for the treasurer position of GLVAR, local board of realtors in Las Vegas. I wanted to specifically talk to Jillian today because, like, you look at Jillian's resume, and this resume is, like, ridiculous.
Thank you.
Ridiculous. She is always involved in something, and something, though, I ran in 2014. And I didn't even really know her. We kind of knew each other through circles or social media or Women's Council of Realtors, but you were running for president that year, weren't you?
Women's Council of Realtors, I was running for president then,
In
yes.
2014.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran, and she, out of nowhere, was like, I want to support you. And that's not why I'm here today, but I learned about supporting each other.
Yeah, it's important. If your goals and thoughts align, I think it's important to support those that you believe have the same goals, have the same measure, have the same, you're in alignment.
Oh, I was like, wow. So I did the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors Leadership Program locally that year. And that's when I learned about all these opportunities. I mean, I'd been a realtor for 10 years and never, it's my responsibility. It's not like somebody's supposed to come out and come after me, but I didn't know all the opportunities that were available. The commission, or what are they called?
The different committees.
Committees.
So we have committees, we have board positions, we have committee liaisons. It's just there's so many great opportunities to get involved. And really, you're just trying to make sure that your association stays healthy so you can continue making a living.
It's so true. And I, since then, have been involved. But, so just briefly going over your qualifications, Jillian, what are those? Just in case somebody happens to not know you.
Well, if you don't know me, so again, I'm Jillian Batchelor. I work with Realty One Group, and I have been involved with the association. Well, I got into the real estate business when I was 18 years old. So I'm 37 now, so it's half my life.
She was a little pup.
So I've been involved in real estate since 18. I started selling real estate, when I was young, super early 20s, like 21-ish, I don't remember. But
was your family in real estate?
My mom was actually a realtor back in the day when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I first got into the escrow business. That's how I started.
Oh, I see.
So I got into the escrow business for the first 3 years, and then I transitioned into becoming a realtor because I loved it. Primarily, I remember my mom was a single mom. She raised myself and my sister. And the first time we had a house that she bought on her own, I was 12 years old. And I remember, I almost get teary-eyed thinking about this. I remember thinking, like, now we have a place to call home. Mm-hmm. Now we have security. Now this is my mom's house. Nobody can take it from her. Of course, I didn't understand mortgages and all that stuff back then. I was 12. But I remember thinking, this is security. And we didn't have a very big house. It was like 12 or 1,300 square feet, but it had a pool. It felt like a castle.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I read an article before, and it said something about kids that their parents own a home, they get better grades.
Yeah, it felt like a castle. It literally felt like we hit the lottery. We had a home. And we grew up in Vegas, so it was a Jones and Alta back then. I think it was 75 or 80,000.
That was like way out there.
Yeah.
Jones and Alta.
Yep. And so, like I said, I think it was like 75, 80,000. It wasn't a castle by any means. Very modest living, but it was our castle.
Yep.
And so I remember thinking about that, and I was like, I want to be in real estate. I remember that feeling as a kid. My sister had it. It was the first time we ever had our own bedrooms. We always shared a bedroom until then. We were 12 and 15 still sharing a bedroom. And so having our own bedrooms was like, oh my gosh, and I loved it. So that's where my passion comes from.
Yeah, I love that. So tell us about the qualifications. So since you've been in 20 years, you've been a realtor.
So I was involved in Women's Council for almost 4 years. I was their president-elect. I was their president. I was their state governor. I was involved in the Trends Committee, the Political Affairs Committee, YPN I have been involved in community outreach, basically all the committees, right? I loved them. I have been involved in AREAA. I sat for 2 years as a board director on AREAA. I was a director with NAHREP. I have been a NAREB member. I have been an NVAR, well, that's what it used to be called, NVAR. I was an NVAR state director for 4 years. Now we're NVR. And I have been a GLVAR director for the last 4 years. So on top of that, I've also sat on 10 nonprofit boards. So I have sat at every position, treasurer, secretary, president-elect, past president, governor. every position you can think of. I have sat on boards where our budget was $20 million and we were balancing a $20 million budget, which that's fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so definitely lots of board positions. I have run businesses.
Wait, before you get off the board positions, all of what she just, all those NVA, all those little abbreviations of what she said, all of those are volunteer positions.
Yeah, none of them
are paid. Just, I want to make that clear. Any of
Yeah.
these positions that we do or sit on, any of the committees that we sit on to benefit our community, really,
Yeah.
our profession and our community, they're all volunteer positions. So before you go on, I just want to make that clear because I didn't know that.
Well, and I want to be honest, initially, I want to be very raw. I want you to get to know me as a person. A lot of that I did selfishly. I wanted to be a better realtor. So
Yes.
in order for me to be a better
course.
realtor, I had to take self-accountability and self-educate myself. And nobody else was going to do it for me.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to come and take your hand and say, let me teach you how to be a better realtor. You have to just be willing to do it.
Yep.
So, yes, there was some selfishness in there. I wanted to be better at my trade. And how to become better than to get involved and learn about all these other organizations, what they do, what their initiatives are, what their guides are, basically, and where their guidelines are, and what they're going for, what their principles are. I wanted to learn that to become a better realtor that I hope I am today, but I'm always learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've also done some nonprofit things. I've collected bags for the homeless youth, and she just comes out of the blue and is like, I got some bags for you, and
Yeah.
also prom dresses for
Project 150. Yep, and we've done the homeless youth.
Yeah.
We have done, oh gosh, there's
Lots.
various charities, but 10 nonprofit boards that I've sat on. A lot of them have to do with either homelessness or a lot of children's and women's charities. It's just kind of where my heart guides to. Of course, animal charities as well. We've done a lot through Noah's House, Shade Tree, just to name a few. Olive Crest, that are really near and dear to me. There's a quote that I like to remember, and I keep this very near and dear to my heart. The quote is, I give so much not because I have so much, but because I know how it is to have so little.
Mm.
And I think that that's really important. No matter how successful we become in our business, it's always important to give back. I started with my kids. I have my kids volunteer every place that they can volunteer because they're under 18.
Yeah.
So every place that allows children to volunteer, I bring my kids with. I'll tell you a funny story really quick. We were feeding the homeless for 4 years straight. We fed over 50,000 meals on the street corner, not in an organization. This was a boots on the ground type of volunteer only organization. Rain, sunshine, didn't matter if it was 120 degrees outside, didn't matter if it was 30 degrees outside. So the first time we go to feed the homeless, we were in a more diverse, kind of lower income area of town. And I bring my daughter with me, and she was maybe 7 years old at the time. And all of this, we're feeding this homeless, and there's about 500 people there on the street corner. And all of a sudden, my daughter's just gone. And my husband goes, and I'm looking at my son, who's 3 at the time, and my other daughter, who was 8 at the time. And my husband goes, where's Olivia? Where'd she go? And I look around, we don't see her. Now, keep in mind, there's a sea of people, 500 people on this street corner. And we're like, where'd she go? And all of a sudden, it was like this crowd of people opened up, and here's this little tiny 7-year-old girl standing there passing out bags and cookies to these people.
Oh, sweetheart.
And I just loved it. She had no fear. She had no fear to be in this sea of people that were swarming her, and she just wanted to give.
That's because the example that you and your husband
Oh.
You guys are amazing.
But thank you.
Yes, Sabrina, my 2 favorite pack leaders. Yes. That's exactly why your daughter did that, because she was following what she sees. I love that story. That's a
Thank
great
you.
story.
Thank you.
But that is exactly why I appreciate her so much. She's always jumping in and wanting to give in some way. Anytime I'm doing any of my crazy stuff, she messages me, what do you need? I can help. And giving is so easy to give. You don't have to, that's always my thing too. You don't have to wait to the holidays. You don't have to wait till some huge organization plans something.
No.
So easy to give. And that's what I love about Jillian too. So she's done a lot of stuff. She's done a lot of stuff. And she's still young and has a lot of energy. So why do you serve a lot besides wanting to be the best realtor that you can be?
So why I serve a lot, especially with real estate related, is honestly because I feel we are personally under attack. Realtors, when I say we are realtors. We are one big realtor family. We are personally under attack, and I think that we need to stand up and fight and be willing to stand up and defend our profession. Why are we important? Why are we relevant? Why should we stay relevant? Why does the seller and the buyer need us? Because I feel they need our guidance.
They do.
And I feel like we need to get up and we need to fight and we need to stand up and explain what we offer them. I mean, luckily, by the grace of God, we are in the best business I believe there is.
Oh, it's amazing. It is
Obviously,
so much fun. It's so, like, helping people.
Oh, it's
I love
amazing.
it.
And you get to meet all different personalities, which I love, right? So, but I think we need to stand up and defend that to the industry, that we can't be taken away by computer websites or great third-party websites. And though they have great data, and there is a place for them, they can't take our position. They can't take that personal hand-holding that we do as realtors. When your client calls you at 11 o'clock at night, I had this happen because my client got identity theft. They're closing on their house in a week. They're moving here. They have no other place to live. They get identity theft. They don't know what to do. I answered my phone, and we walked them through. I got my lender on the phone. I blew my lender up until he answered the phone, and I said, what do we do now? And you know, and a website wouldn't be able to help you with that.
You would just be done.
Or when they're getting a divorce and the husband doesn't want to talk to the wife and the wife doesn't want to talk to the husband, and they need that mediator in between, that unofficial mediator that just kind of coaches them through it. Or your first-time home buyer, or your short sale seller, or your seller who's going to get foreclosed upon, or the family that their parents just passed away and now you're doing a probate sale. There's so many things that we're vital to that transaction, and I want to protect us. The realtor needs to be protected.
Yeah, it's so true. Business is changing. I mean,
rapidly.
Over the last 20 years, over the last 5 years, incredibly huge change recently. So as you say, protect us, protect the realtor. How do you see that happening?
Well, me personally, again, these are my own personal opinions, not the representation of anyone else, but we need to take back control of our data. We need to control our data, what we do with it, how it gets disposed out there, because sometimes the information's wrong, and it doesn't make us look great when that information is wrong out there. So we need to take back the data. We need to take back control. We need to raise professionalism. We need people to feel your realtor should be so professional. It should be the person that you know has more knowledge than anyone else. You should feel that also, that personal touch. That's the other thing, how we can take it back and take control, is that we need to make sure we're having that personal touch. Not everybody wants to be dealt with text messages. I have some clients who love it, and they just want to Facebook me and Facebook Messenger and text message, and that's how they want to do the transaction. And I have clients who want face-to-face. They want to touch me. They want to feel me. They want to get my opinion. They want me in their house. And we just need to take back control of all of that.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. So, off a little bit of real estate stuff, because we know you're qualified. I have no doubt that you would be the best option for our treasurer position, but let's talk about something. What absolutely lights you up, gets you so excited outside of real estate? What is something that just lights you up?
So I'm a faith first kind of girl. So faith is first and foremost in my life. Without getting too religious or going too much, but faith is super important to me, and I get to lead a youth group of young men and young women that I just love these kids. I take them in like they're my own. So faith is very, very important to me. Next, obviously, would be my children. Watching my children grow, even when they want to go at it like this, because I have teenagers. So parents of teenagers out there, you know what I'm talking about when you know what's right for your kid and they just want to go the opposite way, right? So that, just spending time with my kids, spending time with my family. And then I'm a huge dog mom.
I know.
My dogs
That's why
are
I love
everything.
You too.
So I love my dogs. I joke to my husband all the time, and I say, I love my dogs, and then my husband, just joking.
Oh
James.
my gosh.
But
she dresses them up in like little dresses.
I do.
They're like
and they have matching little hair bows. They get their nails done. My dogs have a dog stroller.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
No.
But they're little. They're 2 pounds, 5 pounds, and 7 pounds. So my dogs are tiny.
Funny. That's so funny.
But they get me super excited. I mean, other than real estate, serving my kids, my dogs.
Yes.
That's really I'm a very simple woman. Faith, family, real estate, dogs. That's all I got.
That's all I got. So on that opposite end of it, what brings you to your knees? What absolutely devastates your heart?
So, you know what brings me to my knees is fraud. Fraud is such a big thing right now, and it's harming people. And I know it's not super exciting and sexy, so people don't talk about it a lot. But fraud really, really upsets me because it harms people for so many years to come. And just, beyond that, it's just also the lack of kindness. I think that kindness is so underrated right now. I don't care if you're 2 or you're 102. I think there's always a place for kindness in life. We don't have to beat each other down to get further. And in fact, we actually rise by lifting up others. So I try to teach my kids that. I've never met an animal I didn't like because they're all God's creatures. So kindness is so important, and I know it's underrated, and people talk about it or post about it or put a meme out there, but you can be kind to anybody and just show kindness to a stranger. It's so easy to smile at somebody. And again, because I'm all about these quotes, right? But there's a quote where it says, people will always forget what you said, but they'll never forget the way that you made them feel. So make everyone feel special, make them all feel important.
Oh, I love that. That's good. What kind of fraud are you talking about?
So in real estate, there's a lot of wire fraud right now that drives me crazy. There's a lot of email fraud. There's a lot of people that are just preying. I know, like anyone who preys on the weak, right? Or the weak or the innocent. Lots of fraud for a lot of my senior citizen clients. They're getting all these robocalls and fraudulent letters, and I don't like anyone who preys on the weak and the innocent.
Yeah, I agree. So when you're 90 and you look back on your life, what do you think? I know you can't say all your accomplishments that you've already accomplished yet, but what do you think is going to be your greatest accomplishment?
I hope, honestly, that I have raised children that have kind hearts and are willing to help others before themselves. I hope that my children, and obviously my future grandchildren, I hope that they'll remember that I gave to them always with my soul, with my heart, that I loved them. I'm kind of the smothering parent. Okay. So I'm the parent, like, every time I see my kids, I'm like kissing and hugging, and I know you guys are surprised. Yeah. If you know me, I know you're surprised. But I am a lover, I'm a toucher. I am super hands-on. So I just want my kids to say, my mother always showed me great love. And I decorate for every single holiday, even St. Patrick's Day, and I am not Irish. So there's never been a holiday that I didn't want to celebrate, because I want to celebrate every day of life.
Yes.
So my kids are going to say my mom was a crazy dog lady. She decorated our house crazy, and she loved on us to the point we couldn't breathe.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's me.
That's wonderful. I love it.
I'm an all or nothing type of girl. If I'm in it, I'm in it 1,000%. Mack truck coming your way.
Yeah, watch out.
So that's how. I mean, my kids, they get loved on me even when I chase them around the house.
Do they get embarrassed? Like, Mom, don't do that in front of my friends at school. Like, don't.
And my daughters are taller than me because I'm only 5'1". I know everyone always sees me in heels, but I'm only 5'1". So my daughters are 5'4" and 5'5". So imagine trying to snuggle this full-grown woman.
So sweet.
And you're like, give me a kiss, give me a hug, and they're pulling away, and they're like, Mom, get away from me. I'm like, no, I love you. I'm your mother.
No,
like, you have to kiss me.
You are mine. Come here.
Yeah, I birthed you. Sorry.
I love that. Well, this is basically what I wanted to do with you today. Is just talk about some real stuff, because obviously Jillian is more than qualified, and she has great experience, but that she's a beautiful person too. That she's
so sweet,
giving and kind, and she loves dogs, so that
dog
bumps her up on the list for me.
Dog mom. Any dog charity. If it wasn't for my husband, if I wasn't a married woman, I would have 75 dogs.
Dog lady.
I mean, forget the cat lady. I'm a dog lady.
Does your husband know this?
Oh, he knows.
If you bring another dog home,
I tell him all the time, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know the trick out there, I tell my husband all the time, babe, we should have another baby. And he says, no more babies. And I said, what about a puppy?
What about a dog?
Because now we're negotiating.
He's like, yeah.
And I negotiate for a living.
Yes.
So then that's how I've gotten 3 more dogs. So yeah, I'm a crazy dog lady, yeah. And they sleep in the bed with us. It's great. It's great.
I love it. That's good stuff.
He loves them.
I'm sure he does.
He's not on Facebook, but if he sees this...
Oh, that's so funny.
Say, yeah.
My grandma, she used to do the same thing. She would say, well, I want to bring this dog, because she had a dog grooming shop here in town. And so... people would leave them, people would abandon them, so she'd bring home dogs. They had like 10 dogs at all times. It was like a rotating door, because they'd get old and die, and then she'd bring... My grandpa would say, Barbara, better not bring another dog home again. And she would sneak the dog in, and then Grandpa would, of course, be loving on the dog in a couple weeks. It was just the way it was. But anything else that you want to cover before we end this, just in regards to your election?
You know what? Regardless of what you do, regardless of who you support, of course, I hope you're supporting me, Jillian Batchelor, Treasurer 2020, GLVAR. But regardless of what you do or who you support, get involved.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to. It's your association. It's my association. It's your association. We need to get involved. In order for there to be change, even in order for there to be progress, you have to be involved. And every realtor, I don't care what you stand for, I hope it's professionalism, I hope it's data protection, I hope it's realtor protection, but get involved. We want to hear your opinion. And there are times in the boardroom that I disagree with my best friends, and there are times that I agree with somebody I never thought I would. But I'm just so happy to hear their sides of their opinion.
Absolutely.
Everybody's opinion is valid, so just get involved.
I agree. The elections are next week, the 16th through the 18th, and I'll be reminding you guys too, but
vote, and you will
vote.
get an email from GLVAR. You'll get an email Sunday night around midnight. If you don't get the email, that means your email address wasn't in the program. So I want to make sure that you look for that email. If you don't get it, call down to the association. They'll make sure you get it. Go out there, vote. Please make sure that we want to hear from you.
Well, before that, sorry to interrupt. Before that, right now, if you're not sure if your email address is accurate in the GLVAR system, go double check now so that in a week you'll get an email.
Go to LasVegasRealtor.com, log in with your public ID and your password, then you can put your information in there because you want to be able to be heard. You know, we need to know, what do you need from us?
Yeah, absolutely. My friend, thank you.
Thank
you. And
this was great.
I know.
So much fun.
We'll do this.
Let's
you know
do
what
it
we
again.
need? We need to do pedicures.
Let's do it.
That's what we need.
I love
with
it.
our dogs.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for your time. We appreciate you.
Go vote. Have a great day.